Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Sound Talk Show. Today we are going to code Emacs Lisp. Emacs Lisp coding. So Emacs Lisp live coding, and if you have questions and comments, say hi, okay? Whoever you are, 5 people, say hi and ask me questions about Emacs or Emacs Lisp. I'm gonna code it today. But first of all, let me tell you about my keyboards. This is Glove 80 keyboard. You can find my reviews on my website. I did a review about 3 weeks ago. Glove 80 keyboard. And over here is Ultimate Hacking Keyboard version 2. Fantastic. I just did a review yesterday or 2 days ago. Okay, so that's my keyboard. And let's start coding. Okay, let's start coding Emacs Lisp. Okay, so let's go to Sound Talk Show and today's page showing browser. So we're gonna first of all, what is it? Are we going to code? So we are going to write a command such that for example, I write keyboard block a lot. For example, let me show you Windows. Okay, Windows shortcut. Okay, showing browser, you can see there's a lot keyboard shortcut markup here. So this page is about Windows shortcuts, and I write a lot about keyboards, and so you have all these Windows. This is a complete list of Windows shortcuts. Okay, and the point here is that if we open the page, let's put the link here. Showing browser. So if you open the page, you can see, let's go look at the HTML. So you can see these are the markup, KBD, KBD something something, and escape, so lots of HTML markup you have to do. So what we are going to do today is we're gonna write a command. Let me show you. So suppose I want to say Control W. I want to write that in HTML. So normally you would be CTRL, capitalize, then keyboard tag, then wait, that doesn't work. Okay, so you have to select it, keyboard tag, then you say plus, then basically then you say W. Okay, showing browser. So normally that's how you do that. Tedious. So I want to write a command where I just use the Emacs syntax. So I just say C-W. The first character stands for control. Then press a button, then it automatically becomes that. That is what we are going to write today. Okay, so let's begin. Comments and questions, okay, post it. And pay me. If you like my stuff, you can buy my Emacs tutorials, Emacs packages and Emacs tutorials recently, and a lot of updates. So my packages, you can, go to XR Emacs blog and buy it and pay me. Okay. So now let's let me double check if my video is going. Audio check, video check. Okay. Good. Wait. Recording will be shut down. Are you sure you want to exit? No. Oh, okay. So yeah, I pressed the wrong key. So Windows so okay. So now what we do now. So we are going to write the command. Okay. So Emacs Lisp. So hold on a second. Where is it? So this is my Emacs block. Close. Showing browser. So we are going to write the Emacs command. So start. Show the pink windows. Okay. Wait. What happened? Oh yeah. So you have to press it twice. So we're gonna Emacs Lisp code. Okay. So we begin. Okay. So start Emacs Lisp code and define. I'm using XR Emacs Lisp mod. You can see here. So type D, press space and expand. So this is XR Emacs Lisp mod. You can buy open source. Okay, so yeah, let's begin code. Okay, so docstring version today's date and turn text such as exx. So let's document. So to that, okay, that's the documentation. Text under cursor to HTML markup. Okay, something like that. We have to fix the writing later, but that's basically what we're gonna do. So we start to define a function. So the first job is get the text under the cursor. Let's get the first line. Okay, so we want the first line. So let's define let two variables xp1 p1 and p2. These are position 1, position 2. Okay, cursor positions, which is a integer, which are integers. So I start my variable names with the x. That's my convention, so that you can tell right away or identifiers that are variables, local variables. Okay, so you want to get the position of the beginning of the line. So set xp1 beginning of line. Okay, so that function will return. Oh wait, that function, that's not the right one. That will move the cursor to the beginning of the line. Rather, we want the beginning position of the line. So line beginning position. Okay, that's a function we want. That returns a number. Let me show you. Let's eval it. You see 153. That's a position of the current cursor. And the pink window, by the way, the pink window shows all my Emacs command calls and the keystrokes as I type them, so you can see the command on the right and the key I type on the left. I'm using Aurora keyboard layout. Okay, we haven't done Emacs Lisp coding for a long time. So now, next, let's get xp2 line end position. Okay, line end position. Okay, so that's the two variables. Then what's next? So we got the beginning position, we got the end position. We want to grab the text in between. So okay, so let's declare a new variable, xtext. Okay, so set that to, how do you, so you got two positions. You want to get the string between them. So that command, that function will be buffer substring. Okay, that is a function, but that will also grab the color in. So instead we want buffer substring no properties. Okay, so this is some technical detail. The difference is that, you see in Emacs, everything, text is colored, syntax coloring. That is done by having properties of the text. So for each text in a buffer, it actually is attached certain properties, such as what font to use, what color to use, what background color, font size, and so on. Behind the scenes, you don't see it, but it's a data structure embedded within any certain text. You can add to them or you can remove them. So that's called text properties. That is how you get the color. Now if we do this, it'll grab the whole data structure, including the color and font size and so on. But usually you don't need that. So usually if you don't want the color, you just want the string. So you say buffer substring no properties. Okay, so that is what we want, and this is our variable names. Okay, so now let's prettify the code. Okay, let's shrink a bit. Okay, now we got the text. Now what to do with the text? So it's a string. Now let's remind ourselves, what does the string looks like? Okay, so for example, the string CW. Okay, so CW becomes, let's do some magic here. So you can see showing browser. So CW becomes that magnify. Okay, magnify. So, but it can be more complicated. For example, if you have, for example, let's say CW, let's say let's say CWCT. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. See, the two keystrokes. Now let's change it to something more common. So CA and CC. So that's select all and copy, a sequence of shortcuts that happens very often. So select all and shortcut, select all and cut, and that will become, let's just write it here. So that will become that. Okay, so for example, wait here, yeah. So here are two examples. So the first example is simple, the second one is sequence of key shortcuts. So you want to Emacs to turn that into this markup. Okay, easy. Okay, so now let's go back here. So now you get a string of things like that. First of all, you split. Okay, split string. Okay, that's the function we want. Split string, and you want to split the X text string. Optional separators. Yes, separators is gonna be white space and one or more. So that's a regular expression. Omit nuls. No, we don't care. Omit nuls nil. Okay, so then you add a new variable list. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so set list to be that. Okay, comments and questions. Okay, next. So now we got the list. So now we have split this into a list. So now we can process each one by itself. Okay, so let's say xtemp. Okay, key. Let's see xtemp. Okay, something like that. So now we want to. So we got a list of shortcuts. We want to process them one at a time. So the way to do that is you map C, that's a map function. So you map to the sequence X list. Okay, and here lambda is a function. That's what you want to do to each one of the shortcuts. Okay, now you map. So what we're gonna do? So suppose the input is gonna be CA, for example. That's a sample input. So X, the X is gonna be like that, a string. So once you get that, what to do? You want to split string again. This is gonna get tedious, more tedious than I thought. Okay, so you want to split string. So but before we do anything, you want to declare some variables. Okay, so variables you want to declare is X key. Okay, so first of all, sample X value. Okay, so now you want to so we have a variable X key, and what we want to do here is split string, split the X into a list. Okay, so let's say keys. Okay, so set q keys will be split string. Okay, in this case, we can have a syntax shortcut. Let's do this. Okay, so we just put it there, so simpler. So now what we do, so now we got each key is one of the letters C and A. So we can, here's what we can do. So we split them. Okay, so so far so good. Comments, guys, comments. Okay, so we split them. Let's do this. Okay, let's just assume, you know, there are many different variation cases. For example, the input could be something like, you know, something like that. That means control meta A. And it could be some other case. For example, so actually the split string here will be split by a dash character. Okay, and yeah, let's just do that. And then there are some other examples. For example, you might have, you know, the meta is usually considered, you know, Windows key. So the question is, how do you represent the Windows key or the old key? So old key is typically A, and the Windows key, here we can devise it. Just say, let's say W is Windows key. So something like that. So all these are possible inputs. Now we split them by a hyphen. Okay, then for each one of these, the first few characters, we need to change them into a, you know, C needs to be CTRL. Okay, getting complex, but let's just simplify and push through for now. Then fix it, you know, later, improve it later. So because I'm doing live stream, you need to get going to show results. So what we do now is let's just add the keyboard tag. Okay, so for each key, so okay, so before we do this map, let's say delete region. Okay, so once you get the text, let's say delete region. There. Okay, so you deleted the current line, then you insert them here. So you're gonna insert, actually, not insert, so we want to, so each of these character is an item in a list. So you want to, so actually I know what to do. So instead of that, you use sequence concat. Okay, let's look up the Lisp documentation. So go to my website, XR Emacs Lisp Basics, then you go to Lisp Basics, then you go to Lisp data structure, then you go to list. Okay, and okay, go to list, and then you go down. Let's magnify. Okay, then you go down. At the bottom there is a, so here is all the Lisp related topics. Convert, join, list or vector or string. That's what you want to do. So vconcat, okay, join any sequence type and return a vector. Okay, that's not what we want. we want to turn a list to a string and also add strings in between. Okay, so append is not what we want. Append returns a list, but map concact, that's what we want. Map concact. Okay, so let's do it here. Yeah, so actually do it here. There's an issue with my keyboard. This Bluetooth reconnected. Okay, so now we map concact. Okay, map concact function function sequence separator. Function we don't need, so identity. Okay, identity function, and the sequence is X keys, and the separator is, okay, the separator is this. Keyboard plus backslash. Okay, that's what we want. Then you want to actually insert insert that, then insert this thing, then you insert an ending keyboard tag. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so hello Acon, first comment. Okay, so now let's eval the function. Okay, that's I think that should do. That should give us basics. Okay, so let's rename the function. Let's what should we name it? Let's open a new window. Okay, because I have written this function already 10 years ago. So let's go to XHTML mod. Actually, let's just call this command. So the command is called XHTML keyboard shortcut markup. So it's defined in XHTML mod. So here is the source code. So I wrote this like 10 years ago. But over the 10 years, I made some changes, and I also made some careless changes, and now it's not so good. You see what it's doing? You know, it's canonize the keyboard notation. You see, because for example, the control key, some people might say CTRL, some people might type the full control, some people with lowercase, you know, sometimes it's with capital case. So you want to normalize it, have a standard keyboard notation across, and also across Windows, Mac, and Linux. So anyway, so let's focus on what we are writing today. So right now the question is what command to name this. Okay, so let's what is the name? Okay, let's say, let's just say that short. Okay, XOR shortcut markup. Okay, so now are we done? Is this good? Let's see, double check one last time. So let's just say, let's try it. Okay, eval. Now we go to HTML page. Yeah, so now we go here. So now let's try on this keyword. Okay, meta x XOR shortcut markup, do it. Oh, fantastic, it worked. Okay, undo. Now let's try this one. Control select all and copy. Okay, meta x XOR shortcut markup, do it. Fantastic, except that you need a space here. So you see, that's right. So you need a space here. Okay, so let's fix that. Fantastic. So how long did it okay, in 20 minutes we did it. So now you need to add a space. So where do you add that? Great. Okay, so now it's missing a space in between here. So where do you add that? Let's see. Split string x text. So this x text should be named shortcut. Okay, so let's let's rename the variables so they make better sense. X shortcut. Okay, that's one single sequence. So I mean one connected shortcut. Okay, a string. That's a string. So all you have to do is add a space here. That's right. Okay, eval the buffer. Go back here. Undo. Okay, let's try it again. Meta x shortcut markup. Do it. Fantastic. Okay, now let's put a paragraph and go to browser and see how it looks like that. Fantastic. Okay, so that's one step done. Now, normal people don't know what the fuck is C. So, because the capital C, that's a Emacs convention that stands for control. But outside of Emacs, you need to say, control. Usually CTRL. This is an interesting question, by the way, because you can look at the official documentation from Microsoft and see how they, do they use the full word control? Do they capitalize the first word? You look at, and things like that. So keyboard notation, that's a topic by itself, very fairly complex and interesting, because on the Mac it's a different way, and also Alt key. Do you say alternative, or sometimes you use a symbol? For example, on the Mac you have the command key. Okay, so we digressed a bit, but the Lisp code is basically done. Okay, that's what we have. So let's digress for 5 minutes. Let me talk about the keyboard notation because it's very interesting. So okay, so for example, we showed. Now this is the keyboard notation. Okay, so let's go to let's talk about keyboard notation a little bit. So you have Windows keyboard shortcuts. You have then you have the Windows logo keyboard shortcuts. Okay, Windows logo, Windows screenshot shortcuts, Windows File Explorer shortcuts, Windows shortcuts to launch or switch application, Windows keyboard shortcut frequently asked questions, and so on, and other shortcut tools. Now, if you look at each of them, that's interesting. For example, the Windows key, the Windows logo also changed over the past 30 years. So that's another interesting topic. Let me show you. Okay, so let's search logo. Okay, Windows. Okay, Microsoft Windows logo history. So you can see Microsoft Windows, their logo changed over the past 30 years. And, for a while on the keyboard, you have this logo, black and white, this one. But now, since about 5 years ago, they changed for a few, they changed to this, this one. So that's about keyboard notation. Do you use symbols or not? So okay, so let me go to show you all about keyboard notation. So keyboard blog, then design keycaps keys. So this is all about keyboard keys. Okay, so let's see. So for example, this key is a manual key. That's also interesting. Sometimes they use a logo, a glyph or logo graph like that originally. Then, then simplify it. Some keyboard uses that. Or you might think, what about just say menu? Or is this key called menu or is it called app? That depends, because by Microsoft official documentation, it's what do they use exactly? But anyway, this key is officially known as either menu key or app key. Which name is used depending on who is writing the documentation. So that's a interesting issue. So for example, I'm writing a keyboard documentation or tutorial or discussion philosophy about keyboard, which for example, in my case I choose the menu to be labeled this way, menu with the kind of symbol. But how should you do? For example, if you are Microsoft, if you are documentation writer for Microsoft, or if you are working for Apple, which choice should you do? So that's a lot consideration. The terminology consideration, which one is more recognizable, intuitive, and things like that, and which one is more unique. So there's a lot issues if you actually consider about these kind of things. And also, writing documentation about keyboard shortcut, that's one thing. Another thing is the documentation, the menu, so what should the shortcut show in a menu command, in a menu in an application, because sometimes you have different requirements from the documentation. So for example, I can show you some differences. Can I? So anyway, so this is a Windows case. On the Mac, you also have quite a few interesting cases. Mac have their different way of keyboard notation, and in fact, over the years, they also changed slightly. It's at one period, they only use symbols. They don't have the words. And the other issue is on the actual keyboard. What do you print them as label? Do you just use symbols or do you use full word? Anyway, I'm kind of lost and going over all these issues. So we are looking at the documentation about basically the whole thing is about keyboard notation. The keyboard notation in documentation, the keyboard notation on actual keyboard labels. Which one should you use? Should you use symbol or name? And the keyboard notation on menu, for example, here is an example from Apple. In this case, they don't use the names. They only use symbols. So this is kind of more elegant. And you can also see Apple did away with the plus sign. Using the plus sign is standard in Windows documentation. But before, in year 2000 and in year 1990s, the Windows keyboard notation, they use a dash instead of the plus. But I guess they realize the minus sign is kind of confusing, because when you use the plus sign, then it's more intuitive, meaning that you have to hold this key and press that together, plus, so they change the minus to a plus. On the other hand, Apple simply, remove the plus or minus. They just put the keys together. The Apple way also got issues. It got issues when you have sequence of keys that are not pressed together. For example, on a Windows, Alt space. For example, I can press Alt and release the key and space. Alt space. Okay, that doesn't work there. Let's try here. Alt space. Okay, Alt space, you need to press together one shot. Okay, but there are other things. For example, Alt F to open the files menu. Okay, let's try it. Alt F. You see? Okay, escape to cancel. Escape. You see? Alt. Don't hold it. Release it, and F. You see, so in this case, you are pressing two keys. One is a modifier, but you press them as a sequence, not as a combination. So if you have that kind of shortcut, then this Apple notation is going to be a problem because there's no way, unless you put a space in between. So, it becomes a bit ambiguous. So these are some of the keyboard notation issues. On the other hand, in Emacs, for example, let's go to Emacs. Emacs standardize their keys. For example, we can show here. Emacs standardize their keys simply, control is just capital C and a dash means press them together. You can see, so this is some of the issues about keyboard notation in different applications, in different operating systems, and in different places, such as documentation or applications menu, or on the keyboard, and also in different era. So, for example, the Emacs notation, they came from the era of 1970s. Okay, my image is frozen. What? Shit. When did that start to happen? Okay, but I think maybe that's it for today. I don't know what's going on with my image frozen. Okay, but maybe that's it for today. So let me toggle timestamp. So my image are frozen about a minute ago. I don't know what's going on though. Let's see. 11 minutes ago. Okay, so so it looks like okay, so wait. So my screen is not frozen, right? It's just my video. Yeah, so somehow my video, the camera is fucked up. Let's try this. Okay, it's it's still frozen. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, but that's a nice photo though. That's a nice capture. Why is my video frozen? So something wrong, apparently the camera software, the camera part got frozen. So let me close all unnecessary applications and see maybe yeah, but anyway, that's it for today. So we kind of finished the Lisp code. Yeah, let's just wrap it up. Okay, we finished the Lisp code anyway. And then we started to talk about keyboard notation. So here's the Lisp code. It's not complete though, because now the next step is that we need to change the capital C to, the CTRL. But okay, so here is the code. Let's syntax color it, show in browser. So here's the code today. But my okay, so now so that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. And now I'm just gonna do some random. Let's see what is going on with my video. Why is it not showing anything? Let's see what happens now. Okay, that just froze. so it must be a bug with the either with the OBS or with my camera. I don't think it's a camera because I have two of them and both of them froze. So now let's Control Shift Escape. Okay, let's see the task manager. What does it say? Okay, task manager. God. Oh, wait, it's back. Wait, the Logitech camera is not working, but not the Speedo, not the China cheapo, my face. The camera for my face is, yeah, so the camera for my face is stuck. Okay, so we can try to unplug that one. Okay. That's not fixing it. Okay, I'm gonna restart the OBS and let's see if that will fix it. Otherwise, that's it for today. Bye guys. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we are back. Are we not? I think so. It's good. Okay, so now, so what we to, okay, so we are 47 minutes. What to do? Fixed. Yeah. So. Okay. So, so I talked for 10 minutes about keyboard notations, and I guess you guys missed all that. But okay, let's forget about it. So now we got this code to work. Okay, so let's try to improve it. Okay, so pop this out. So here's a code, and we can let me do this again. So okay, so let me demo. So here is the text. Put the cursor there, call the command, shortcut markup meta x, do it, and there we have it. And put a paragraph, show in browser, go down, there it is. So now the next thing we want to do is we want to change the capital C to CTRL, to the standard notation. Okay, so what to do? So map concat. So yeah, so we put a function here. So that's right. So you see here the map concat, we have identity, which means do not do anything. But however, in between elements, we add the keyboard markup. But now we want to change the capital C to CTRL. So we add a lambda here. Okay, so we add a lambda here. Okay, so lambda, and if x if string equal x is equals to C, then we want to change it. We want to output CTRL. Otherwise, just return C itself. Okay, something like that. Eval the buffer. Okay, eval the buffer. Let's just try it. Okay, wait, we don't need this line. Eval the buffer. Go back here. Undo, undo, undo. Okay, now let's try it. Shortcut markup. Do it. Nothing is okay. It changed here. You see. Yeah, it changed there. It's a problem. We got a few things to fix. It's a problem because if you show in browser, you can see you want to make the change only if it's the first character. I mean, only if it's, you know, the first part of the shortcut. So, okay, and the other thing we need to fix is that lowercase c should also work. Okay, so here will be if or that or capital C. Okay, now is there a so you can say lowercase. So what's a command for lowercase? So in Emacs it's called downcase. Okay, downcase x. Okay, so actually, so that. So eval the buffer. Let's try it again. Okay, meta x, do it. You see now. Showing browser, go here, refresh. Now it's better. Now the next thing we need to do is that we only want to change the front. We don't want to change the last key. Okay, so we can do that by so we need to drop the last, basically. Hi Ken. Hey Ken, are you the Ken I know? Long time no see. Long time no see. I'm gonna call you, okay? I think you are the. Are you the Ken I know? I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna call you, okay, offline. So so what are we doing now? So we need to fix this. We need to fix this. So how do you fix it? Okay, let's fix this, and that'll be it for today. Maybe 10 more minutes. Okay. So now let me repeat what's going on. So we got a sequence of shortcuts like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, for example. Each one is a shortcut. Okay, so magnify. So each one of these is considered a shortcut. So we have a list of them, you know, a list of them. And in this part, so the lambda, the x is one of these. Okay, for example, or, you know, for so let me explain. Okay, so sample x list value. So sample x value is like this, okay? So this is like a sample input. Wait, that should be a parenthesis. Yeah, okay, so let's do this again. Okay, so that's better. So this is a example value of the X list, a list of shortcuts, and then we map to the list, and each X is one of these, example. But right now the problem is we don't want to deal with the last element. We don't want to make any change to the last one of it. So here we split the string. Okay, so now we split the string and we want to drop last. So how do you drop the last item in a list? Now this is gonna be inefficient because list in Lisp is a linked list and linked to the last part. So you can drop the first item easily and efficiently, but you cannot drop the last item efficiently. So, but here we do want to drop the last. So one easy way, but inefficient, is just reverse the whole, drop the first item, then reverse them back. Okay, that's okay. So that's very inefficient. So what we can do is we can look up the Lisp documentation for sequence functions. Let's see what's the best way to do it. Okay, sequence functions. So here is you have a bunch sequence functions. So there it is, reverse. We can use sequence element, sequence length, sequence take while. For now, why don't we just do the inefficient way? That would be much faster instead of we thinking and talking about this. Yeah, let's just do the most dumb way, okay? So let's do it. Okay, so here we got the key. So now let star so that later variables knows the value of earlier variables. Okay, so actually, so X keys let me just okay, so we got this bunch of things. So okay, copy, set reversed equals to reverse X keys. Okay, then last item, so you also want last. So reverse it, set last item car so that's the last item. Okay, then you want to reverse it back. So in fact, you don't want rest. So last item. Yep, what yep? Okay, so last item will be, so okay, so you got a list. You actually want to drop the last item because the last item you do not want to process at all. So you do not need to know that what's the last item, but also you need to remove it. So that's easy, okay? So last item, then you also set sans last. So wait, reverse and reverse and here is what to do, color that, okay? So this sans last is basically the original list in the original order, but without the last item. Okay, so let's double check. Yeah, so we got the last. Okay, so pretty fine. Okay. Okay, and here we just process, instead of the keys, we just process the reverse last. Then once that is done, we add back the insert. We add back the last item. So that would be wait, where would that be? Yeah, we need to add it here somewhere. Here. So format the last item. Okay, so last item goes here. Then I'm not sure the logic is correct, but something like that. Okay. Okay, here's the whole code. Let's just try it. Run it. Okay, undo. So let's do it here. Call it. Do it. Perfect. Perfect. One-shot coding. Show in browser. Perfect. Oh, you're missing the space again. You're missing the space again. Okay, so oh yeah, so the space needs to go wait, so the space needs to go here. But what is this? Wait, so we go back here, keyboard, 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 keyboard. It feels like we added a extra. Oh yeah, that's right. So begin, end. So begin in the keyboard, that, and end, end, end. Here, okay. Eval the buffer, undo, undo, undo. Call the command meta x shortcut markup, enter. Perfect. Add a paragraph, show in browser, go to the bottom. Perfect. Okay, now let's try something else. Let's, we got this perfect. Copy, paste, do it, and make it list, show in browser, go to the bottom. That's perfect. Now let's do another example. Okay, so this time the example will be Control S. Okay, S will stand for shift, just like the Emacs convention. Okay, so here, here instead of the if expression, we need a conditional. So okay, so copy that. So let's write this. Okay, condition. First condition that then that. Okay, the last condition is true. True and do nothing, return x itself. Okay, so we don't need this if statement anymore. Delete it. Okay, but now we need to add several other conditions. Okay, so this one will be S will be shift. Okay, and A will mean alt. Okay, and so let's see. W will mean Windows. Okay, this this is not Emacs convention. It's something we made up. Windows, and in this case, Windows. Let's be fancy and let's add this extra symbol for Windows key. Okay, Windows shortcut. Yeah, so let's add this. This is my own convention. Okay, and yeah. So W is for Windows, and what about command? Command, there's a conflict, because if you use C to stand for command for the Mac, it conflicts with control. So there are these situations. So what key do you want to use for command? Yeah, I don't know. Let's not worry about it now. Let's just do this. Okay, and let's make another let's just let that be. Okay, so there it is. Eval the buffer. So we have Control Shift Alt. Okay, so this will be Control Shift A, and let's see, Control Alt A. Let's make them all lowercase, and let's say Control Shift Alt A, and let's say Windows S. Okay, and let's say Windows SS, that's for screenshot. Windows Shift S is for screenshot. Okay, let's try them. Eval buffer, and now let's do this. Okay, copy it. So do it. Control Shift A, fantastic. Do it. Control Alt A, fantastic. Do it. Control Shift Alt A, beautiful. Windows S, beautiful. Windows Shift S, fantastic, perfect. Make a list, show in browser. Fantastic. Okay, that's it. That's what we wanted to do. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my stuff, buy my Emacs tutorial. Okay, buy my Emacs Lisp tutorials. You know, everything you need to know from the beginners to, you know, to as a reference for your advanced coders. Okay, so that's it. Bye, guys. Okay, we shut down in 1 minute. Let's now do some cleanup of the code. Okay, some cleanup. So this X list, you are the goat. What does the goat mean? What does goat mean? Goat. You know. So that's you know, idiom, some slang or something. Greatest of all time. Oh, I see. Thank you. So let's clean up the code. You know, that's it for today. I'm shutting down. So, but clean up the code. So this X list should be something more intuitive. You know, so shortcuts. Okay, so X list is shortcuts. Wait. This is text. Okay, so this should be input text. This shortcut should be input text. Okay, rename that. Okay, then X list is shortcuts. Okay, then this X is one shortcut. Okay, something like that. And this mess, you know, this inefficient mess, it doesn't matter. Actually, this form is probably the best code, because if you want to consider efficiency, you know, we are doing reverse list. We are doing reversing a list, then take the, you know, that, you know, the first item, then drop that item and reverse it back. That's what we are doing. So it's inefficient. But however, you know, our list, the length of our list is at most 4. You know, it's not 100 or 1000. So in fact, this is the most simple and pretty efficient. You know, if you have, you know, more than 50 items or something, then maybe you don't want to do this. But for our case, you know, the max number of list is just 4, you know, because you only have 4 modifiers, or 5, you know, 6 at most. Shift Control Alt, Shift Control, you know, Shift Control Super Alt. That's it. 4, unless you consider left Alt, right Alt, left Shift, right Shift. But there's no shortcut that, practically there's no shortcut that considers different left hand and right hand differentiation. So this is actually a good code. Okay, so okay, that's it. Bye, guys.